time for my first crack, and you both have been very positive, so I'm going to take aim at the bruise-free Hawks. The bruise-free footy they've been playing over the past fortnight. They were a premiership favourite earlier in the season, and they've become the worst pressure team in the competition over the past 5 weeks. I want you to keep your eyes on... There's Nick Watson and Jack Ginnivan up the back. They're sort of not, you know, they're like two kids up the back of the bus. Look at James Sicily on the right. He's the captain who's out of form, and watching this team, team who was tipped for the flag early in the season, really slide. I mean, their past month has been pretty poor, really, and Sam Mitchell been particularly grumpy because they need to roll the sleeves up. They play the Western Bulldogs on Thursday night, and right at the moment, they're the worst tackling team in the competition. So look at the past 2 weeks against Brisbane round 11, they were minus 23 tackles, and then it gets worse against Collingwood, your mob kingy, minus 44 tackles. So you know what the emphasis is going to be for Sam Mitchell and the Brown and Gold this week. They take on the Western Bulldogs. You called them the Bevo's Brawlers, right? So they're the best tackle-breaking team in the competition, and they come up against the Brown and Gold tissue paper because that's what they are at the moment. That is the complete mismatch and the frame of which this game will be played on Thursday night. And it's fair to say, if we're going to take Hawthorn seriously, they've got to bin the one-way footy, because that's what's happening at the moment. And Sam Mitchell might say, well, contest and clearance has been all right, but when you look at all the players last week who had 0 and 1 tackles, there's about 9 of them. Yeah. And that is not good enough for a team who wants to hold up the cup at the end of the season. Is one-way footy fair or not? Am I being harsh?
No, I think...
Is it attitudinal?
Well, it has to be. I mean, the talent really hasn't changed. The talent's only improved last year to this year, so it has to be between the ears, but... Sometimes the draw works for you and sometimes it works again. I mean, fancy walking to the Dogs this week when you're in a poor run of form, and then the Crows who are in some serious form after that. Sometimes you can just be a bit stiff.
It's going to be a massive game on Thursday night. Certainly can't wait for that.
Put that one on TikTok. These young brash Hawks have had a day out at the MCG. As they have all night, they are well short of the standard set by the Magpies.
Sam, what was the message to the players after that one?
It was more just ask them, actually. Just had a bit of a discussion around, let it all out, what's going on and where you're at and where are we at and what do you think? I think it was pretty clear to everyone that was here and those watching at home that, you know, we're at this point miles off it. That's what we need to aspire to and above to beat them when it matters, and we've got plenty of work to do.
Where do you think the players are at? If you ask them what's going on, like, where do you think they're at?
I don't understand the question. Where do I think they're at? We just got beaten by 10 goals, so that's where they're at.
I hung my head.
Big grumpy, the Hawthorn coach, Sammy Mitchell, 51-point losers to Collingwood is an emphatic statement from the Magpies side. But looking at the Hawthorn side of things, Kingy, offensively, they're not doing the damage on the scoreboard.
No, they're not. It's not as fluent. It's a little bit clunky. It's not working as it should or as it did in the post-bye era of last year. And they're just simple errors. I mean, if he takes that clean, you've got the players out the other side. You're off and gone at speed. You've broken that pressure bubble that the Pies were able to bring. And let's be honest, they weren't able to handle. And they make some of their players look really slow. I mean, I don't know what's happened to Joel and Sicily and Gunston over the last couple of weeks. They just look like they can't really get going. You know, you've got an obvious target in the pocket here. You don't need to search for anything greater than that from where you are. The game was sort of in the balance here, and they're reaching. They're reaching, trying to do too much, some of them, and others are not doing enough. So they're all out of sorts at the moment. These sorts of turnovers just kill you. So they've completely lost their ball use at the moment and they're damaged. Now, we touched on that 3 or 4 weeks ago and people just scoff and say, no, they're good. They've got a heap of talent. They're correct, and Sicily's kicking will come good and this will happen. Look at this. Look at the organisation there. You rarely see 4 opposition players at the top of 50 organised like that. Here, out and gone. Now, this is where we want to see... In the past, we've seen that ball kick back into the middle and they've maintained their flow and their speed. Play with tremendous dare. Now, this kid is normally prepared to bite that off. Normally prepared to have a go at that. But on this night, when everything wasn't quite going their way, they went away from what makes them great. And you've got to stay the course, because what it does do, it kills your power. It kills your damage. If you can't punish in 25, shut the gate, right? So last year, best in the competition post-bye at getting an intercept from the opposition onto the scoreboard. This year, 10th. That's a massive drop. That means you can't contend, let alone play finals. This one here, this is my favourite. This is the heartbeat of scoring, the heartbeat of your game plan is being able to punish from your half-back area, that defensive mid-zone, just back of centre to the top of your defensive 50. We see it in all the good sides, counter-punch at speed and score. Last year, that was them. 96 points a game post-bye. Sorry, they were 96 per 100 intercepts, down to 64 per 100 intercepts, first to 12th. They've lost what made them great. They've got to get it back. There's only one way to get it back, and that's go harder. That's get yourselves going, and if we make mistakes, we go down playing our way. Because right now, they're dying a slow death. They've got to go.
Steep decline there. Very interesting numbers. Kingy, what about the Collingwood side of the coin, Joe?
Well, on the flip side, Kingy, you said it was as good as you've seen a team play in a long time. Well, if you take a look at some of the inside 50 kicks that we saw, I think it was as good as we have seen a team kick the ball going inside 50. It was exquisite. They only had 44 inside 50s, Collingwood, but they took 18 marks. All 18 of them were uncontested. Look at that. Lipinski's got 4-5 Hawks around him, but still just has the composure to pop it into a little spot for Bobby Hill. So the AFL average is 9 uncontested marks inside 50. As I said, all 18 were uncontested because of some of the delivery of this. The Hawks only concede 6.7 uncontested marks against for the season. It was sublime. I love the way they went about it. This is a team that is confident at the moment. They are in sync. They're really in good shape with where their game's at.
What about the use by hands?
Well, this is the other facet of the game that I think Collingwood have really improved over the last month, because this has been their trademark. So the last 3 years, they've been top 2 in the comp for metres gained by hand, and we've seen it back in recent weeks. So I think for a little bit of this period early in the season, it wasn't quite there, but I reckon they've gone to work on it. I think you can see the numbers there. So rounds 0 to 8, they were 7th in the comp. As I said, they're normally right up the top. The last 4 weeks, those metres gained numbers are off the charts, and you can see, again, how they work in waves, they support each other, they stay in the contest, they back themselves by hand, and that's what's giving them such good looks going forward of the ball. And this one's one of the best clips of the night, how they all stick. Look at them in board. They know what is going to happen here. They know this ball is going to continue to be flicked around. They stay involved in the chain. Ed Allen continues to run on, and they're getting these really good looks. So not only is their kicking precise at the moment, they've got this handball game of theirs that we've known as a strength as well, working beautifully.
And they handle the heat, Joey.
Yeah, don't they?
Yeah, they love a bit of pressure.
Yep.
So what about the running power then, both sides?
If you could just have a look at two players who play similar functions to either team, and I think Membry versus Marby or Chol. They're similar type players. They're not exactly the same, but these are the two. This is two examples of the gaps in the game, if you like. And that ball's flicked out and gone. So you would expect your key targets to get on their bike and charge across the ground. You can't be ambling, because as soon as you amble, Quainer comes off. He's not going to come to you. We can roll up and we can trade up and we can cover that. Look at what the opposition are doing. There's Membry. Watch him put his head down and go. Right, they need me as a target. I'm going. Now Barras can't go with him. He just can't. He can't. He's trying. It's all credit to him for going as far as he could with Tim Membry, but he just wraps him and then runs back with the flight. So already he's done about 100 metres. Brave enough to stand under that, give the handball in, and they go forward. So for me, that's the tale of two cities in one bit of vision. What is Marbior prepared to do versus what Membry's prepared to do? That's why one's at the top of the table and one's floundering.
It's hard not to watch Tom Barras in that piece of play.
Yep.
Is your jury out on that sort of work rate?
Well, they've taken him up to territory he doesn't want to be in. He doesn't want to be lateral going across the wings.
He's in the cage.
He wants to be in the cage.
So they're trying to expose him.
Absolutely they are. Teams are not going to let you play the way you want. And credit to him, he did engage in the fight there. But I'm talking about what the centre-half forward... He had to go. If he doesn't go, it's a stroll in goal. But that's the difference that Membry's making to Collingwood.